Scenes from the Spectrum, episode 25. Sixers?
Here's Ilyasova. Here's McConnell. Can he get it off? Yeah! And the Sixers win it! 7 seconds to play. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win! Yes!
Allen for the win. Yes. Ooh, it has been it has been a long time.
What has it been? What has it been?
2 months? November. I think Tony said November 15th. If you guys didn't know, or
was it November? Was it 24th?
Oh, I might.
Tony.
17th, I believe.
17th.
It was around there, yeah.
Well, finals happened. Holidays happened.
Your finals, not the NBA finals.
No.
Your school finals. The NBA finals did not happen.
School finals happened.
We didn't miss that much.
School finals happened. Holidays happened. You know, we got busy. We couldn't find time to come together and get a recording going. We actually did, but we never uploaded it. I forget why. But we're back.
Wait, that happened? Whoa.
Yes,
whoa.
we
did one and
it was
never
like
uploaded?
it had to have been like early December, I think. I asked you to upload it and you never did.
I remember you saying you had it.
No.
Covering.
I was busy.
I remember you saying, "Don't worry about it. It's cool."
Well,
I remember
that's
you
fine.
asking me, and I was late getting back to you because I was, as a man is busy,
Mhm.
and you said, "No, don't worry about it. I got it."
All
It
right,
turns
well,
out you didn't have it.
I didn't have it, and we never.
I didn't even know that. That's news to
I
me.
don't even remember what we were talking about in that episode. Probably the same stuff we always talk about. Doc Rivers.
I think we
And,
talked about the Embiid the game of his life. against the
Yes,
Jazz.
against the Jazz. That was
So let's
a
talk
lot
about that. Embiid just had a crazy game against the Utah Jazz, like 7 blocks, like 83 points.
That was
almost had like 23 rebounds.
2 months ago.
Yeah. What do we think about this Embiid game?
It's crazy.
Tony,
It's crazy.
Tony, thoughts on that Embiid game that just happened against the Jazz?
But
Wait, no, Tony's thoughts.
all
Tony's
right,
thoughts.
Tony.
Greatest game I've ever seen. Recording this on the night that Donovan Mitchell dropped 71, but
Not
I
as
think
impressive.
It's not. It's really not. He didn't block
Mickey
the
Mouse,
other team
Mickey Mouse,
8 times.
He
7
had 25
times,
free throws. I mean, come on.
Does not count.
Does not count.
Does
Come
not
on.
count at
Come
all. All
on.
right, now that we talked about the Embiid
There
game, let's get
has-
into the episode.
Been a lot of stuff that has happened with the Sixers team and everything. We went on an 8-game win streak. You know, we played on Christmas against the Knicks and dominated the second half of that game. A lot of stuff with players and beat an MVP race, and we're here to talk about it.
All right,
We are
first
here
of all,
to talk about it.
I wanna stand up real quick. Just want to stand up, and I want to give a standing ovation to DeAnthony Melton real quick.
That was a good standing
Anthony,
ovation.
I
10
don't
out
know
of
if
10.
you know me. But I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest supporter. I am the number one DeAnthony Melton fan of all time. And I would applaud you for the way that you've been playing, because this really made SixersGraeme very happy.
Absolutely.
Extremely happy.
Absolutely. And we'll get into all of it, but first we got to do the usual. We got to go through our headlines. Tony, if you could hit that music, let's run through it.
We have it's the same headline music every time.
Come on. It gets you pumped up. If this doesn't get you pumped up, what does?
I'm
All
warming
right.
up back to it. I haven't heard this in a while.
Sixers beat the Pelicans to open the new year. Who is the actual MVP? We've heard a lot of stuff, a lot of biased things from media people, but we'll talk about it. Maxi's back from his injury, and he's coming off the bench. D'Anthony Melton has been starting in his spot. Niang is him. Tobias Harris, is he in a slump? We're here to talk about it all. We are here to talk about it all. Let's start out with what happened tonight, or as you're watching this last night, as the Sixers took care of business in Philly against the New Orleans Pelicans. Graham, you want to start?
Yeah, we got our lick back.
Absolutely.
You were at the game, Justin.
I was at the game. It was a great vibe in the arena. I mean, Zion actually left the game. I think it was in the third quarter. I forget what happened. He was limping off. I don't know the actual injury that happened to him, but we did catch a W. Zion was playing very well up until the point he got injured. They were starting to come back, and then he left the game and never came back.
I believe Zion had like a third quarter of insane dominance.
Yeah.
If I was watching the same game as you, Justin,
Mhm.
and to the point where if Embiid took the shot on the offensive end and he missed, it was an automatic Zion bucket because Embiid is the only person that's deterring Zion from a rim.
Yeah.
And if Embiid was taking the shot, he wasn't getting back quick enough, and it was just free buckets, absolutely free for Zion.
He had a lot of them. It was literally just driving down into the lane, bully ball, free layup. That was about 75% of his points tonight.
At least we won a football game against New Orleans.
Oof.
Is that too soon?
Oh, how about them birds?
Sorry, we got the Giants. No, we're cool. We're cooling.
Yeah, but it was a good game.
I was keeping track. It was a good game, but I was keeping track. I was keeping track of Herb Jones' defense versus James Harden's offense because I think that was probably one of the more intriguing matchups of the game. And I caught my eye in the first Pelicans game earlier on, I guess a couple days ago, Friday night. It was James Harden 4 to Herb Jones 2. It was my count. But they didn't match up enough because the Pelicans, they switch everything on defense.
Mm-hmm.
When James had the ball, especially like at the top of the key, the Sixers would have another guard set a screen, whether it be Shake or D'Anthony did a lot to get like Trey Murphy or CJ McCollum switched on James Harden so he could get Herb Jones off of him.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept doing that repetitively until the Pelicans stopped trying. And then they put Herb Jones on George Niang after Niang hit 3 threes out of his 4 first attempts early on in the game. So I want to say that James Harden, when he did go up against Herb Jones, there's a couple of times where Herb got the better of him, a couple of times where James, I know he had an and one against him too.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in mid-range J, and a couple of nice passes where he was able to blow by him, make the help side collapse on him and kick it out to an open shooter. So that was one of the biggest things for me is that James Harden had to win the battle between Herb Jones and him and on defense to James's offense, and I feel like he did that. And also, I mentioned George Niang. I want to mention George Niang again because in that second quarter, I believe it was the first quarter. It might have been the second, though. I'm not exactly sure. It was in the first half for sure.
I think it was the second.
Yeah, it was the second, but it was the great ball movement from the Sixers that allowed George Niang to hit those shots. And I just want to say that the ball movement was impeccable tonight.
He is not afraid, which I love. He is not afraid to just let that thing fly. And he's shown it plenty of times. And he gets hot. He hit 2 threes in a row and then had a heat check, which he missed, unfortunately.
And then he hit his next shot.
Yeah, but he's not afraid in the slightest to just take 100 threes if he has to.
Look, and I know I mentioned James Harden because even though he has his ups and downs, there is just something about James Harden in a Sixers uniform that just doesn't feel real at times. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely. I do it all the time. I look, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe this guy's in Philly.
Yeah, he had only 8 assists tonight.
He should have had. Obviously, I am a sports bettor, and I had James Harden to get 8+ assists. So I was really focusing on that a lot, and he should have had a lot more. He had a lot of beautiful passes that probably like 3 or 4 to Montrezl Harrell, where he just Montrez just couldn't finish down low like he usually can. But
yeah, but defensively, Montrez was good. I felt like.
yeah, he held his own, which is all that matters.
But back to James, like he had 27 points.
Mhm.
So what you heard a lot of at Wells Fargo Center. So when James Harden gets 27 points, Tony, we know exactly what to do. Like
there you go.
It's tradition. Now, can we get it one more time, please?
That's a good one.
A riveting photo of James Harden. The people at home can't see Tony right now, but I could see him in the screen, and he's losing it. I sent him a text a couple minutes ago. And I said, "Get ready," and I saw him peep at his phone and just start dying laughing.
That's a great clip.
It was a great clip.
All right. Let's get into
every time we mention James Harden, we have every time we mention James.
You guys. All right. Let's move on.
Before we get copyrighted by the NBA, because I'm gonna play the entire Clippers Heat game during this episode.
Let's get back on track. And you
want
to move on?
I don't think we should, because I want to know, like, you think we're gonna get a copyright strike?
It's possible.
I think we're gonna get a copyright.
It's definitely possible.
It's the guinea pig episode. We'll see if it works.
Yeah. We're just testing things out.
I'm also like watching the game through my screen.
I gotta be completely honest. I've been watching the game the entire time.
Yeah, like the people at home have definitely been watching the game. Like I'm watching the game, looking at my computer screen, which is a camera reflecting back onto me. If that makes sense. Back on.
Who is the actual MVP? Are we ready for this conversation?
Yeah.
You want to give me your top 3, and then I'll give my top 3, and then Tony gives us his top 3?
All right, I'm gonna go Embiid, Jokic, Luka.
Embiid, Jokic, Luka. That's what you got?
That's what I got. 3 best players. I don't know. It's too early for value for me. I'm just saying those are the 3 best players in the league.
Are those ranked?
Yeah, I'd say those are ranked.
I would have
Embiid, Jokic, Luka.
I would have a current different ranking.
What's your top 3? If somebody has this person in their top 3, I'm flaming them. But go ahead.
No, I do not have Giannis in my top 3. Don't worry.
All right, good.
Don't worry. If you have Giannis in your top 3, please reconsider, because he.
Or there's another player too. There is another player that people have.
KD.
No, not KD.
I
would accept KD.
I don't want to talk about that guy.
I would accept KD. Yeah, you know about that guy.
I don't want to talk about that guy.
All right, who's your top 3?
I would say number 1 right now would be Jokic. I mean, not Jokic. Luka.
Luka is your number 1.
Luka. What he has been doing: 60-point triple-double, 50-point back-to-back games, triple-doubles, averaging a triple-double, and I think he averaged like a 50-point.
Yeah, well, like Reggie Bullock is his number 2 option. Like, come on.
And they're a pretty good seed right now. I don't exactly have their exact seed in my head, but I know they're up there. But number 2, I have Joel Embiid. I think he deserves to get way more respect, because he hasn't been getting any. Because the guy we talked about like 30 seconds ago has been getting that respect. He shouldn't even be in your top 3. All right.
Who's my number top 3?
You know that guy shouldn't be in your top 3.
He was in my top 3?
No. He shouldn't be in anyone's top 3.
And it's Giannis.
No.
No, another guy that's not Giannis.
Another guy that's not Giannis.
Right.
I don't want to talk about him, because I've heard too much, and I just
okay, that's fair. Anymore. That's completely fair.
Number 3 would be Jokic. I want to throw up saying that. I got to be honest, but it's just I have to say
it's okay. It's okay.
I really want to throw up saying that.
He's a good player. He actually made a great pass tonight, but Aaron Gordon, thank the Lord for Aaron Gordon. He had his foot on the line.
Let's go.
And so it did not count. So shout out to Aaron Gordon.
Preying on Jokic's downfall.
He sold a generational pass from Jokic tonight, like up and around 3 defenders that were collapsing on him, and he just slipped it through. I think it was the baseline. Yeah, Aaron Gordon had his foot on the baseline,
and that clip would be everywhere. If
it would be
actually.
Shout out to my man Aaron Gordon.
if that's not your top 3 in any order, I mean, Jokic should not be your 1 at all. But I mean, you could throw KD in that top 3.
I would
I mean,
respect it.
but not Giannis or the other guy that we don't want to talk about. Not them.
Tone. What
Tony,
you got? Top 3.
producer Tony, let's hear it.
Yeah. I mean, pretty similar top 3.
Don't say
I
his
mean,
name.
I'm not going to. I mean, if we did this like 2 weeks ago, I'd say he's probably in there, but
I wouldn't. I never had him in my top
Tony,
3.
don't-
look.
Don't sell
I'm-
out like that.
Listen.
I did not say.
Like I can
I am a
I can give
fan because of where he went to school. All right.
Cringe. All right, bro.
Hey.
No.
that makes me least of a like I hate him more because of that. Like
I
I
like him
forgot
because of
about
that.
it. I forgot about where he went to college until you said it right then, and then it's like now he's not even in my top 7. Like he was number 7, now he's not. Like I don't even know where he's at now.
He shouldn't even be in your top 50. Not
All
even
right,
in your
that's
top
that's crazy. That is
All right,
absolutely
Tony,
bad.
producer Tony, give it to us.
My number 1, Luka. I mean, he's been going crazy as of recent. And then obviously Embiid, and unfortunately 3 is Jokic.
All right. So nobody had this particular player.
No.
Nope, in their top
Only
3.
that fan base would have him in the top 3. Yeah, just clap
I
it
am
up for us.
proud of you guys. We are making strides in the right direction as a society because of the top 3 that we just
Now, let's talk about the disrespect that one of these certain MVP candidates has been getting. You would think that we are biased, but this is the most unbiased podcast you will ever watch.
Oh man, come on now. We have never shown any sort of bias.
Right.
Anyways, we crapped on the Nets a lot. I want to say, good job, Nets.
Good
Anyways.
job, Nets.
All right. Anyways,
And that's why we don't have a problem with KD being in your top 3.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be there, but we don't have a problem with it.
but we're not biased.
But we're not biased. So
This is the least.
let's talk about a
biased
guy who deserves
Sixers
more
podcast.
respect. And you shouldn't be surprised by this. Actually, you should, because we're not biased at all. So we don't really talk about this guy that much. Joel
No.
Embiid.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, the I would say top 2 most disrespected stars in the league.
Who's number
for
1?
this year. I was just throwing in top 2. He could be number 1.
Well, who's number 1? Who's number
Joel
1?
Embiid.
Okay, well, then who's number 2?
I don't know. I don't have a name for you.
Okay. It was just a feel.
Yeah, it was a feel.
Like,
it was a feel.
like he's
Nothing on my
about top 2.
Yeah, nothing on mine.
I thought somebody was more disrespectful. I was just asking. I was curious.
Mhm.
That's why.
Graham,
But
why do you think he's disrespected?
I think that absolutely. I think
Mhm.
people I think people have brought in the joy out of his basketball game because of the stigma that comes around with Embiid. You know what I mean? He hasn't shot many free throws in a game in forever, seems like.
Yeah.
And he's legitimately getting fouled. And he's not a center. To be a good center in the NBA, you can't play like a center. Every center that plays like a center is not a top center. And that's why Jahlil Okafor is not in the league. Because centers
Poor
don't play like
Okafor.
centers to be a
Poor
good center.
Okafor.
So, yeah, poor Okafor. But I think that Embiid just does everything to a standard of where he makes it so effortless, and it doesn't surprise many people anymore. He doesn't have the shock factor when he plays. Like he does sometimes, and when he does, it's like you start to lose your mind. Quite frankly, I lost my mind once tonight. And I think he like stepped right through the middle, untouched, just slammed it in at a pretty big time where him and Zion were trading baskets back and forth. And then like the rest of the stuff, I mean, he was absolutely insane, knocking down so many shots from everywhere on the court, and it's just normal. And that's why I think that he's getting disrespected, because he's never won the MVP. He's been close to it tons and tons of times. But it's like, what more can he do to impress and not win? I feel like he's done everything to win 3 times in his career now, and he hasn't, right? So I think that like what more can he do? Like he can't possibly be better than Embiid right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the best. Like, he's the top of the top. He's improved everywhere where he's had holes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every saying that he like 5 years ago, if you gave a list of like 5 reasons of why Joel Embiid couldn't win MVP, he's improved in all 5 of those facets greatly.
Absolutely.
So I think that the shock factor of Embiid is not there as opposed to a Jokic who can make passes like he's just pick a passer, Justin, pick a passer, Jason Williams.
There you go.
Like he's that, and everybody loves good passers. Everybody loves Kyrie Irving, like the passers that are just like everybody loves right now. Tyrese Halliburton because he's making insane passes on the nightly.
I love
Not that
Tyrese
Embiid.
Halliburton.
See, exactly. Not that Embiid doesn't. He just doesn't like shock people when he does.
Still got an ugly jump shot.
Tyrese Halliburton does have an ugly jump shot. But the point I'm trying to make is that he just does it, and it's just so normal.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's a huge problem now. It's just become so normal. I mean, he's dropping. I think is it 33 or 34 points per game, which is it's currently leading the league. If Luka hasn't taken that spot,
33.5.
Is he still number 1?
I think he's number 2. I believe he's number 2.
Well, it's become so normal nowadays, and it's not even like he's inefficient. He's very efficient. It's not like he's putting up 40 points with like 30 shots. He's not like Giannis.
Giannis had the least impressive. Speaking of Giannis, he had the least impressive 40-20 game of all time.
What was that? 30-something shots?
No, he was 1 of 9 in the last 2 minutes of regular time and overtime.
Yeah,
against the Bulls. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, that's why we're saying if you have Giannis in your top 3, just stop watching basketball. But it's crazy to me because I tweeted this out a couple of weeks ago. I tweeted out that media pages will post a stat line and say, "Wow, crazy game from Joel Embiid," but they won't give him any respect in MVP rankings. They did a poll. They usually do this poll a couple times a year, and he who shall not be named was number 1 from the poll, and Embiid was looking like 8th place.
It doesn't make sense
Which
because when you watch Embiid, it's just so like, how is he doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, well, that's just what he does. Like that is what he does. Jason Tatum will, excuse me, the man that we will not name will have a night where he's absolutely insane.
Whoa. Did you just?
I accidentally, you know what? I apologize. The man that we're not saying will have a night where he is like literally Jesus Christ himself. Like he is the Lord and Savior of basketball all around the nations, and then he'll shoot like 28% the next game.
I think that's a huge problem with him. Is he's not consistent.
But the night that he does go absolutely insane, he is. I mean, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah,
right?
he's very good. And I think
it's
media,
in our mind. It's in our mind that he has that every night, and he doesn't.
Mm-hmm. I think the media page is just when that guy, he who shall not be named, when he has a great game, it'll be everywhere. Like everywhere. Embiid, he does it every single game. So it's so normalized nowadays that people don't want to put him on top, which is it's very annoying. I mean, the criteria changes for MVP every year, which it's one of the most
that's a fact.
It's one of the most frustrating things being an NBA fan when you believe that someone should be MVP, but the criteria has changed. The last 2 years, it was the guy putting up the most ridiculous stats, and that was Jokic. Last year, he was a sixth seed, and he won MVP. This year, media says, "Oh, now the criteria is it's the best player on the best team in the league." So I don't get it. I don't understand why it isn't. Why it's not the same criteria every year. It should be the most valuable player to your team. It should not be the guy who puts up the most ridiculous stats but gets sixth seed. It shouldn't. It doesn't have to be the guy who's the best player on the best team every time. We need to get back to where where we gave out deserving MVP awards, and I feel like we haven't done that in a few years.
Where we have uniform criteria.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like Embiid is just so like even when his bad game, he had a not great. He didn't have a great game against OKC, but he had a triple double.
He had a triple double,
Yeah.
which I saw a couple of Sixers fan posts, and then all the Jokic fans are under like, oh, Jokic does this every game. It's like, come on. People are very.
It was like
annoying.
Embiid's worst game of the season.
Yeah, it was.
I would
quite literally his worst game of the season, and he had a triple double. I think that's his first of the year, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, like if Jokic did that every game, he wouldn't be a top 20 player.
Mm-hmm.
Embiid played. I thought Embiid was pretty poor. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he was 6-17 from the field, 0-3 from deep. I mean, that was like one of his games where you're just like, oh my gosh, 4 turnovers. What are you doing?
And I mean, I don't really think anybody cared too much. It was New Year's Eve. Nobody watched it.
Personally, I was not watching.
I watched it because I haven't missed a game.
I didn't even know the Sixers were playing.
I watched it because I have not missed a game in 6 years, not one single game. So I always have to watch it. But I don't know. It just seemed like everybody was going through the motions in the game. Like everybody just wanted to get out of there, and it was a 20-point lead by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I saw that Harden didn't play in that.
Harden at Maxey. God, that sounds scary to me. I saw, Maxey and PJ Tucker were all out due to injury management. And we can slide right into the Maxey conversation if you want to. He's back. Coming off the bench, D'Anthony Melton is starting for him, but Maxey, he just needs to get the rust out because he has not shot well since he's been back. He's had some beautiful drives, some beautiful layups. I think he had an N1, maybe 2 tonight, but he just needs to get that shot back. Once he has that 3 back, he'll contribute a lot more and he'll get his starting spot back.
Yeah, and tonight there was one play that really stood out to me, and it was the open corner 3, like wide open corner 3. Yeah, and he was like long on it. Like it was one of those where as soon as it left his hand, you knew it was not going to be in, and that is extremely rare for Tyrese Maxey,
especially from the corner.
Yeah. So that was one of the ones you're like, all right, well, he's still coming back. And people were freaking out about the report of Doc saying that he's going to be coming off the bench for the near future, I believe was the wording.
People I've seen on Twitter have been saying that Maxey should stay on the bench and Melton should be the starter for the rest of the year. And
like I don't know about that, but
while I sort of understand your reasoning behind it, it is a very bad idea. It is a very bad idea because Harden you gotta he is what brings the most out of Maxey, and I think if you split those two up, I just think that's bad news. And I know D'Anthony Melton has been playing out of his mind, but no,
I think until D'Anthony gives you a reason to go to the bench, like as soon as D'Anthony gives you a reason that all right, you should slow down his role a little bit, then you slide Maxey back in and it's seamless. But until then, I think you got to ride D'Anthony.
Well, that
until he gives you a reason not to.
That and if Maxey starts really, really playing well, then he should be put back in the starting lineup. Really, you don't think?
I think it's a D'Anthony Melton thing more than a Tyrese Maxey thing. If I'm being honest, because if D'Anthony Melton didn't play the way that he was when Maxey was injured, we don't have this conversation. So this is a D'Anthony Melton. How long can he keep up? How well he's playing?
He could keep it up for the rest of the year,
and if that's the case, we're going to win the championship. But he most likely, I'm the number one D'Anthony Melton fan on the internet, so I can say like he's going to have a rough time where he's going to need for the team. He's going to need to play less minutes, and that is when you just slide Maxey in because he's going to be ready at that point. We also don't have that guy, that dog off the bench consistently. Like Shake Milton can play well, like he's played well before a lot, like against the Clippers. So I think that Maxey off the bench does have benefits, like 100%
Absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely.
100% about it.
But I feel like we should move on and talk about, give a little update on the free agent signings and how they've been playing.
D'Anthony Melton has been amazing.
The best. We
Spectacular.
can talk about. Here's two guys I want to pair together and give my reasoning: PJ Tucker and Montrezl Harrell, and I believe that they could be used a lot better.
Are we counting? First of all, are we counting Brick Ross as a free agent signing?
Do you want to?
Why not? We'll talk about him later.
But I pair PJ Tucker and Montrezl Harrell together because I don't think they're being used correctly. I don't think Doc runs enough plays for Montrezl Harrell, especially the pick and roll, and I don't understand why PJ Tucker sits in the dunker spot more than he should when he's proven to be one of the league's best corner shooters.
Yeah, I think he's a great corner shooter. I also think he's a good passer out of the high post,
Mm-hmm.
Which we do use him there at times. I would like him to be there more often, but it does clog the lane a lot for Harden when he's playing. So I think
is this like a voice cue? You say his name and it automatically comes up.
I think so. But I feel like sometimes you just have to put him in the dunker spot because there's nowhere else he could possibly be.
Yeah, at times, but I feel like taking away his one offensive attribute, it kind of wastes him because
for sure he's a waste. I mean,
because it kind of turns into a not as bad, but it kind of turns into a Matisse Thybulle situation where he's so good on defense, but he's giving you nothing on offense, and I feel like that's kind of a situation that we're getting ourselves into.
I haven't been that impressed with PJ Tucker's defense. I know he has his good moments, but he could be better defensively for sure.
Absolutely,
I feel like there's a point at where you got to look at PJ Tucker and say, no matter what combination of five we put out there on the court, and PJ Tucker is one of them, he is going to be probably the least valuable player.
Mm-hmm.
And you could think of any five you want to outside of the 2A players.
Mm-hmm.
And even like Matisse Thybulle last couple of games, if Matisse Thybulle and PJ Tucker are sharing the court, which they should never, but if they are,
why is that a thing? Like, when did that turn into a thing that Doc said, "Yep,
hey,
look at this lineup, it's gonna work"? And did you see
Matisse made 3 threes against OKC? I did see that. He was 3 of 3, I believe. I believe he was 3 of 3. I didn't watch the game. I did not watch the game at all. Was he 3 of 3? You watch every game.
What are we talking about? We're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're gonna take a fake Matisse Thybulle stat line. Come on. No.
Did it happen or not?
I think he had 2. I think it was 2 threes.
2 threes? Okay.
Tony, could you look that up for us? But Doc actually had a quote that
it doesn't matter. First of all, it doesn't matter if it was 2 or 3 threes.
I just want to hear what it actually was.
Like we should be celebrating the fact
he can make threes. He can make threes.
But he's been more valuable the last couple of games than PJ Tucker.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Montrezl Harrell, if he's not on the court the same time as James Harden,
he should not be on the court.
Then I should play offense. Like he's as good as me out there if James Harden's not there.
Which it's really frustrating because obviously he's like an average defender, I would say, maybe.
He's intimidating. He's intimidating.
Yeah, sure. He's an intimidating average defender. But when you get on the offensive end and James Harden isn't on the court, you're kind of useless. And that's kind of been like that for a lot of his minutes this year.
He's without James Harden, he's a airballed layup waiting to happen.
And I want to throw up watching him miss layups.
Yeah.
Way more frequently than a center should. And I know he's only 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
At least he doesn't miss layups and get technical fouls like Dwight Howard did.
Dwight, that was a very interesting. That
how
was a
many
very interesting.
how many technicals did
time.
Dwight have? Like, at least he's not getting technical
I
fouls.
remember he got kicked out of a game with, like, in the first quarter, once, when he was playing for us.
Like, it's absolutely insane that he was getting that many technicals.
I feel like
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Reed.
gosh.
I feel like Paul Reed should play a lot
I
more.
think he got 16 technicals.
16.
Hold on. Dwight Howard in the 2020-2021 season had at least 16 because I just saw an article, and I believe it's by Noah of NBC Sports Philly, and it says Howard suspended for picking up 16th tech in confrontation with Haslam. Of course, it was with Udonis Haslam.
That was a very annoying, like, time to watch Dwight Howard just suck.
Yeah.
Just
But
suck.
Montrezl Harrell is not Dwight Howard.
He's not Dwight Howard. He
I
sucks
would
in his own
rather-
way.
I would rather have Montrez than Dwight. 2021 Dwight, not Taiwan Dwight.
And I would rather have Paul
Andre
Reed.
Drummond. I would rather have Andre Drummond than
Absolutely.
Montrezl Harrell. I would not rather have Paul Reed than any of the guys I just mentioned.
Really?
Or maybe
You
Dwight.
wouldn't
Maybe
have-
Dwight. Maybe
You
Dwight.
wouldn't have Paul Reed playing right now over Montrezl Harrell. James Harden's not on the court. James Harden is not on the court. Who are you playing?
I'm still playing Montrez.
I don't like that. Because guess what?
I
Guess
think
what's
I'm
going to
playing
happen?
Montrez. It depends.
The other
It depends.
team's just going to go on a run. It happens every time. It happens.
Yeah, it
every
doesn't mean.
time.
I don't think Paul Reed is necessarily stopping a run either.
No, but I'll slow him down. He's I think a much better defender than Montrezl Harrell.
He can
still-
be. He can also have like
he's-
3 fouls in 15
well,
seconds.
He's still young and he needs to, clean up his game, especially on both sides of the court. But if he's on, he's fantastic and everybody loves him. But
Yeah, like
I feel like Doc isn't giving him enough of an opportunity.
I trust Montrez more.
Yeah, because he's a veteran.
Not necessarily that. I just feel like he will. If we need to run a play, Montrez Harrell won't mess it up.
Yeah, well,
Paul Reed might.
Paul
Paul
Reed,
Reed might mess up the whole play.
he's a little out of control.
Like he might just mess everything up. Yeah, exactly. He's a little out of control.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
You
that's all
got to
I'm
give
saying.
him more time, more experience, and he'll clean his game up. That's
You can't though. What more experience can he get? Because he can't play 15, 20 minutes a game in the NBA. He also can't play in the G League because he's won the MVP. He's LeBron James of the G League. He can't get any better playing in the G League, but he also can't play the amount of minutes he needs to become a polished NBA player. We're stuck in the middle with Paul Reed.
my point of this whole conversation is there absolutely is times where Paul Reed is necessary.
There is.
And there's also times where Montrezl Harrell is necessary.
And not always are they congruent where Doc makes the right decision.
Which I would say 95% of the time he makes the wrong decision. Because
I would agree with that.
Haven't
But
seen
I'm still taking
Paul Reed on a court in a long time.
I'm still taking Montrez more often than I am Paul Reed.
I think it depends on the situation.
I think I'd rather have Joel Embiid play 48 minutes.
Oh, absolutely, if he could.
I mean, that's just personally me. That's just what I feel like.
Should we is there any other specific
PJ Tucker is pretty bad though. We will just put there. PJ Tucker is pretty bad.
I think he
like
could,
it's a massive overpay. If PJ Tucker played good, it's still an overpay.
Well, I think you just have to. I think offensively, you just
gotta live with it.
I think offensively, you have to put him in better spots. Obviously, sure, the dunker spot is the right time in certain situations, but I feel like in more situations, he should be sitting in the corner because he is a great corner shooter, a fantastic corner shooter.
He's got to bring more offensively, and I like his ability to get offensive rebounds. I think that's good, and he wouldn't get as many offensive rebounds. He wouldn't have as many second chance points if he was in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather have 3-point makes than offensive rebounds. I don't know. That's me personally. That's me personally. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and that's why he's in the dunker spot. But who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I think that once you get to a point with PJ Tucker, yeah, he can play bad sometimes. Like he can just be invisible. He could also have some pretty good games, but his stat line looks terrible.
Yeah.
So it's tough with PJ Tucker to tell. When you actually watch him play, you don't notice how bad PJ Tucker is. Like, you're not at your TV screen yelling, "Oh my God, PJ Tucker, what are you doing?" You're not like that. But you look at the box score, he had like 3, 1, and 2, and 4, right? Yeah, you're just like, all right, and it's not noticeably bad for PJ Tucker. Then Montrezl Harrell at times where it's noticeably bad. Like, you're like, come on, man.
Now,
Paul Reed's the same way.
I have
He's
a
noticeably
question.
bad.
I have a question for you and producer Tony. We can all answer it. So obviously, back in like after free agent stopped and the season was about to start, you would probably rate our offseason like a B plus and A, somewhere around there. Looking back at it now, what letter grade would you rate the offseason? Would it still be the same as your answer would be back in September?
It's a B.
Mm-hmm.
It's a B. What's stopping it from being a C is the massive pay cut from James. Other than that, if that didn't happen, if James Harden's on a max contract, then it's a C. But since he's not, it's a B.
Producer Tony, you want to give your answer?
Yeah. By the way, Matisse went 3 for 3.
Thank you.
But
Shout out Matisse.
I forget what I said.
I'm the only one in the arena that boos him when he comes in.
I boo him too.
You're still doing that?
I'll boo him every time.
He's horrible, man.
But booing him in the arena is crazy. Like, he
deserves it.
He's
sometimes.
not. Oh my!
He's got to prove it to me he's just got to prove it to me that he shouldn't get booed. I haven't seen it yet. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
He's not Cal Gibson.
All right, bro.
All right, Tony. If you did you hear my question or did you want me to repeat it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember what I said it was when we did the off-season episode or whatever. I'd probably give it like a B- or a B still. If you do include James Harden.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh my gosh. I think personally the D'Anthony Melton's playing better than I thought he was, and what's his name? PJ Tucker's playing worse, so I guess that kind of evens out. Harrell's still bad, but I mean Harden's. I need to stop saying that. I need to stop saying that. He's good. So it's still a B. It's still a B.
I think D'Anthony Melton is doing exactly what I expected him to do.
I think he could potentially be like
when we traded for him.
Man of the year if we ever put him on the bench again.
I was very. You couldn't go back and listen to this, but I've been very high on D'Anthony Melton ever since we traded for him.
I said that he was going to have 5 or 6 30-point games. I think I might be on track.
Has he had any? I don't know.
He's had one for sure. He's had one, 100%. He's had one of them.
Oh, yeah. He definitely has one.
I mean, Tony, Justin, you've watched every game. So, I mean, I would expect you to know how many 30 bombs he's had. And he has.
Oh, right. Because I'm supposed to have photographic.
He's had one.
Unless you're lying about watching every game.
No, I swear I haven't missed a game since 2016.
All right, bro. All right.
Since 2016 is insane. You've missed one game.
No.
Like, you've missed a game. Like,
you've
had something.
I can't believe that.
You've had something come up in your life where you had to not watch a game.
You're telling me you've watched every Sixers game over the last 6 years.
Not from start to finish sitting there and watching it. I've watched at least a half. At least an entire half for 6 years straight. Absolutely, I know that for sure. If there's something I'm doing, I will watch it on my phone. If I'm at work, I'm watching it on my phone. But if
there's not been a situation where you have missed like an entire game.
Not yet.
You've watched a little bit of every game for the last 7 years.
I had this was last year. It was the Hawks. We were in a playoff series against the Hawks, and I was at 2
years ago.
2 years ago. I was at close friends' graduation, like school graduation. I just watched the Sixers game the whole time in the stands.
You watched it.
Yeah, in the stands.
Like
I
you
had it
didn't
on
even
my
have the
phone.
courtesy to like listen to it.
I can agree. I think I remember doing this too, honestly.
Listen,
during, like, the school
wherever I
graduation.
am, if I'm not home and if I don't have a TV, like in the same room as me, I'm watching it on my phone no matter what I'm doing. I haven't missed a game in a long time.
That is insane.
I'm
Now there's been one game you've missed. You just don't remember it because they all blend together.
I can't remember a single game that I've ever missed.
Like you've
no.
never load management a game. Like you say, like I want tonight. I need to rest tonight. I don't need to watch the Sixers tonight. You've never had one of those.
I always have it up.
My God,
every time I always have it up. Like,
see,
like
I'm the same. Like there's been few times. This year's the most I've missed because of other like work things. Like I've been obligated where I literally can't like perform at a job unless I like have my full undivided attention to this one thing in front of me, which is also a basketball game. But I'm not watching another basketball game while watching another basketball game, right? So I have those moments, but there will be times where I'm not working and I can't watch a Sixers game. Like if I'm at somebody's graduation, I'm not propping my phone up to watch a basketball game. Like it's rude to me.
I did.
I feel like that's rude. That's a little rude.
Well, looking
just
back
saying.
at that person, they deserved it. But
okay. Well, look, I applaud you for that. Good job.
Yeah. But no,
see,
I'm telling you,
I have long enough hair.
There's nothing.
I stick an AirPod.
There's nothing I can remember from the past 6 years to where I have missed an entire game. Just nothing that comes to mind. Not a regular season game, not a playoff game, nothing.
All right. So I will pop in either, League Pass audio or something to that nature and listen, or on the 975 app. And I'll listen to the game and I have long enough hair where they can't like see my AirPod. And I've gone a lifetime of doing that. So that's how I do that. I listen to a lot of games. I don't necessarily watch a lot of games.
If I'm out, I just watch it with no volume. That's what I do.
You just watch it with no sound. I'd rather have somebody telling me exactly what's going on than to watch it with no sound.
Hey, it's just what I've done.
I think it's a better experience. You should try it out. Next time when you're on the job.
It's got to be visual. It's got to be visual.
You got to see it in your mind. I like seeing it in my mind.
I like seeing it for real.
You got to use your imagination about what's happening. Because Tom McGinnis is going to tell you everything that's happening. You just got to use your imagination to put it to life.
But
you ever sync the radio to the? Have you ever synced the radio to the TV?
I haven't.
But I have. I did that a lot during the.
But I'll listen. I'll listen to the radio for like 5 minutes. I'm just I can't do it. I got to put it up on my phone. But I'm still trying to think. I'm still trying to think. There is not a single game I've missed. And
Tony, what was the last Sixers game you just didn't watch at all?
OKC.
Exactly. Like it was a couple of days ago, right?
I made my cousin who wanted to watch that game so bad. I made him turn it off, and he went to a different room, and I watched the Sixers game when I was at a family member's house.
So, I will say when was that? Saturday, there was so much going on. It was New Year's Eve.
It was
college football playoff, bowl game.
I sat myself on the couch and I said, "Hey, let's put the Sixers game on instead of watching college football."
No,
and
I had enough faith in the Sixers that they can beat the Thunder.
No, I had to watch it, and I watched it.
I didn't even know they were playing. First of all, not that it mattered because I wasn't going to watch them if they were playing.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't want to be left out of like missing a game, so I never do.
Wow. Have you ever fallen asleep during a game? Plenty of times, right?
Not that I can remember.
Like the West Coast trips, you for sure have fallen asleep during a game.
No, I stay up late.
That is insane. There needs to be a study on you, Justin.
I have somebody follow me around for years.
Yeah, like we need a study on Justin. You're a certain type of fan.
You can. I mean, nobody will ever do this, but I have about like 12,000 tweets on my Twitter from the past, I'd say two years, and I live tweet all of them, except maybe a couple where I'm at the game and I just haven't been on my phone, or like a game when I'm around a bunch of people and we're watching it. Like that's the only times I don't live tweet it, but like, yeah, I watch all of them.
That's insane.
It's some real dedication. It's taking up a lot of time in my life.
But could you imagine? Like, I think, like football, I've done that with the Eagles. I can't remember a time where I've missed an Eagles game. That's football. It's different.
I slept through this Eagles game, the last one.
Yeah,
I wish I would have.
Yeah, same. There's just no way I'm sleeping through an Eagles game.
I woke up and I was like, oh my God, the Eagles lost. That's a shock.
Insane.
No, I've canceled plans before to watch the Sixers game. I have canceled dates.
I think we've all been there. I think we've
before.
all been there. I've never canceled a date to watch a Sixers game.
It was with a girlfriend I had at the time, but no, I've canceled lots of plans to watch the Sixers game.
Yeah, I've canceled plans to watch.
It's a certain.
I don't tell them I'm watching the Sixers, but I tell them I'm doing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You don't tell them you're actually watching the Sixers game. You gotta make an important excuse, and then you just sit on the couch and watch the Sixers game.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
What was the last Tony? When was the last time you missed an Eagles game?
Ooh, that's a great question, actually.
For me, it's been
probably
forever.
It was probably
well, I think
probably the Super Bowl year. I probably missed.
Ooh,
I don't know. Did I?
This past Sunday was the first time I missed a game. Missed an Eagles game in a while.
I haven't. If I didn't miss a game in 2017, I don't think I've missed an Eagles game since Wentz was since we drafted Wentz.
There's got to be a lot,
because I can't really remember much before that.
There's got to be a lot more people like me.
I was like you for the last 2 years. I mean, this year I couldn't. They were hard to watch.
I watched
like
the
year
they played 72 games. The year they played 72 games.
The year they played 72, I watched everyone.
That was the Hawks year, right?
Yeah, the Dwight Howard year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I go by which year was our center.
That actually helps a lot. We got the Al Horford year.
Yeah, the Al Horford.
We got that half Andre Drummond year. We got the Dwight Howard year. Now we have the Montrez year. The Montrez year.
Yeah, but like our backup center is how I keep up with the years. So the 2021 season is the Dwight year. The year after that is the Drummond year. Yeah. Last year,
I'm still trying. I'm just still trying to think of when. I don't remember the last time I missed a game, and it hasn't been since before 2016. Ben Simmons rookie year.
No, I did. Definitely Ben Simmons rookie year, his fake rookie year.
His fake rookie year. That's what I'm talking about. But like his actual rookie year when he got hurt, I watched most. But I know for a fact when
they won 10 games, that was like peak basketball for me. Them winning 10 games.
It was so fun.
It was
no
vibey.
Expectations. And just going out there and hooping and losing. It was the best time.
Yeah. It was one of my first real memories. Obviously, if you know me, I'm outside of the Sixers, the area of where you watch. So I've been league passing since I was born, basically.
Illegal stream gang.
I have not been illegal streaming since I was born. I've been league passing since I was born.
I have actually really been contemplating buying League Pass.
I have League Pass right here.
Yeah,
so you have been watching League Pass.
Literally been watching it the entire time. But no, I think they reduced the price of League Pass this year.
I don't know.
Yes,
it's on auto.
I did a whole report on this for one of my classes this year.
Do you know how much it is?
It's like I know they dropped 50%, I think. I don't remember what the original I know it was like over $200 before though.
Anyways, what I'm getting to for League Pass for the 10-win season is that I would watch the Sixers, and like 15 minutes after the Sixers game ended, it was prime Steph Curry. And that was my basketball fandom in like 2014.
I watched a lot of Steph Curry.
Yeah.
2014, 15, 16, a lot of Steph Curry. And I watched a lot of both LeBron and Steph Curry. It's my two most watched players in this.
I watched a lot of Russell Westbrook. The Sixers year when they sucked, I was watching a lot of OKC games with KD. And I was watching a lot of Steph Curry. And that is most of I watched a lot of Lob City Clippers the year that we were terrible. Well, a couple years we were terrible. So yeah, there was always times where even when the Sixers sucked, I was looking forward to watching Steph Curry or Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, or OKC and Russell Westbrook.
Ooh, I actually have a game.
Or Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan. I watched a lot of Tim Duncan
I
and Kawhi.
actually just thought of a game that was the last one I've missed. I'd say I missed the whole first half and like half of the third quarter.
Okay.
And that was the game where we played LeBron at home. LeBron dribbled through somebody's legs. Was that 2016? 2017. Was that 2017?
I don't remember this game.
You don't remember this game? This is
He was on the Cavs. He was on the Cavs.
Yeah, he was on the Cavs. It was at home. LeBron had that crazy. It was behind the back, dribble through the legs.
Yeah,
You remember that?
yeah,
It was last year in Cleveland.
Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that.
That was 2018.
Pretty yeah, I'm almost
Yeah,
positive.
That's the most I've missed that I can think of in the past 6 years. Other than that, I've watched every game.
So what's your greatest experience watching every Sixers game?
Ooh.
Because there was one for me that I just had the best
wouldn't-
experience of all
I
time
don't
watching
know
a
if I
Sixers
could
game.
say one.
No, you have to pick one. You have to pick one.
I mean, I can pick one because I don't know. What's yours? Let me hear yours.
My personal favorite Sixers game of all time is there's two to come to mind. First, one of the best experience ever is the TJ McConnell game winner against the Knicks.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a classic.
That's not the one that came to my mind initially. The one that came to my mind initially was the Dwight Howard year. We played the Jazz at home, no fans.
Oh,
Embiid hits the three to take us to overtime. Donovan Mitchell, I believe, gets ejected in overtime. We end up winning that game against the Jazz. That was one of the best games I've ever watched.
I wouldn't say I could.
That Embiid shot was one of the best games ever. I will say another one of the best games ever is James Harden's first time playing at the Knicks as a Sixer.
I was there.
Yes, you were. You were.
But there's
one of the best games.
there's not like one specific that I can put number one. But the first one that came to mind is the most recent playoff year, Embiid's game winner.
Yeah.
That's one that came to mind pretty quickly. I'd say
that didn't come to my mind initially.
I'd say, yeah, I would agree with Harden in the Garden with Embiid. I would say the crazy Maxey game against the Grizzlies. That's up there for me.
Yep. I
That's
would
up
say
there
the
for me.
Maxey game against the Nuggets.
Yes, I watched that while I was at work. I remember that. Let me think of
A game that I'll never forget is the Dakota Mathias game against the Heat in overtime. Never forget that game.
Never. And then we waived them like a couple weeks later.
Yeah. And I remember I made a tribute video to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on my old account. I don't have the video anymore.
There's been a lot of crazy moments.
Gosh, I'm trying to think.
There's been a few.
Like
there's been a bunch. We've had a bunch of game winners, but like
Markelle Fultz triple double.
Oh my!
Up
I got
there.
one. I got one. Michael Carter-Williams rookie debut.
Yeah, I definitely remember that game. 100%.
That's a good one.
One of my first memories of Sixers basketball is Iguodala hitting a game winner. I can't remember against who, but I just know Iguodala hit a game winner.
One of my very first basketball experience was the Sixers against the Heat in the playoffs. I think it was that the Iguodala game? We took a game off the Heat in the playoffs.
I remember beating the Bulls like very vividly.
Yeah, we beat them. That was when Derrick Rose.
When Derrick Rose towards ACL. I remember that like extremely vividly. But other than that, it's
do you know
tough.
what year that was when we played? We played Miami in the playoff. It was when LeBron was on the Heat. We played them in the playoffs. We were about to get swept, and we had a crazy fourth quarter. To take a game off
I'm
them,
gonna guess 2012, but I'll look it up.
I want to guess that as well.
2012 is the Derrick Rose ACL year when we beat the Bulls.
So that it had to have been 2013,
or before that,
or is either 2011 or 2013. It was one of those years. But Iguodala and Lou Will, teammates. I'll never forget that. That was very.
Was that Drew Holiday?
Oh, Drew Holiday had to have been on that team.
I forget when Drew Holiday was here. I know I watched him.
I'm not sure. I'm not. That was when I was first getting into basketball because I remember what got me into basketball was 2K, like 2K10. But we're just rambling, and we've gone over an hour. And
I think
minutes.
this is this favorite part of the podcast.
Yeah. Well, we're just talking. But I think we can end it, right? You want to end it?
You have one thing to say.
Do I have one thing to say? Fire Doc Rivers.
It's Hey by Lil Baby.
All right. I think that's gonna be it for us tonight. This was actually a really fun episode.
It was.
I love just talking about random things.
Sixers.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out our socials in the bottom left of the screen. SFTS podcast. Follow, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you got to do to help us out. But thank you guys for watching. Producer Tony, you want to say anything before you head out here?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Graham, you got anything to say?
You know I have something to say, but I'm gonna save it for later.
Yeah.
Wait.
No. I think we're good. I think we're good. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you in a few days. We are back on our schedule. So
we are back on schedule.
Great rest of your day.
Sixers.